on, Gypsy. That's hokey. Welcome to Artist on the Rug. Today, we're gonna sort of be fulfilling a request. I had someone ask me about the blendability of the Black Widow colored pencils in the Monarch set. So I'm gonna do a little blending swatches for you on this video today. If you like this content, please subscribe and ring that little bell so you always know when I post a new video. And let's get, well, blending. Blendability? Ooh, blend it. Does it blend well? Let's blend it. Blendability. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Ooh, can you hear that wind? Yeah, a little bit of a windy day today. I'm sorry about that. The noise, there's not a lot I can do about it. So bear with me. Let me get some lights turned on here. And today we're going to be looking at the blendability of the Black Widow Monarch pencils. These are a wax-based pencil. They are in the budget pencil range. I did do a swatching video on them, and that's where the question came up to me is, hey, how do they blend? So I'm going to do some blends for you. This is a piece of color pencil paper. This is my favorite paper. I'll see if I can get a link. I get it off Amazon. It's a paper made by Spring Hill, and it's the best paper I've found for colored pencils. This is a 67-pound weight. You can get it in other weights. I like the 67 and the 80-pound because I can run them through my printer. And it has a nice tooth on the paper, so this is what we're going to use today. So let me grab out some of the pencils and we'll do some blending and see how they go. Okay, so let me see if I can't. I don't want that focusing over there. I want it focusing here. Okay, so I picked out some light, medium, and darks of some pinky purples, some blues, and some greens. And we'll do a little swatching with them. Let's blend it. So we'll start with, I think, the pinks. When you're doing blends, I like to choose a light, medium, and dark. I think that gives you the best blends. It's a blending rule of thirds that I'll be doing an upcoming video on blends and other things, shadowing, etc. So let's do this. Do I want to write down? Here's my other. Okay. So if you have the Monarch set, we're gonna do 101, 086, and 039. So for our first blend, those are the numbers of the colors I'm going to use. And let's do this. With the other pencils, I'm actually gonna turn the paper a little bit and we'll see how these go. Now when blending, the rule of blending thirds, you have your area. We'll pretend, right? We're going to do this area right here. Lay your lightest color down first over the whole area. And you want to work in light layers. It was something I had to train my hand to do, is to not grip it so hard and which I tended to do when I first started as an artist years ago. I really had to train myself to lighten up, Gypsy. And holding the pencil further back helps a lot, tremendously with this. So I'm gonna see, can I bring you down a little more? Is that better? Does that help? I want you to be able to really see this. Okay, so I put a light layer of our lightest color down first. Then I'm gonna go to our next color, and we're gonna lay in a layer of that over a full 2/3 of our area that we want to color. Again, a light layer. Would it help if I did something like that? Does that help? What a wonky box, huh? Okay. So over 2/3, I did the medium color. And now the bottom third, I'm going to do our dark color, which this one is, ooh, lavender. So that's our first layer. I work in a lot of layers, particularly since I use softer pencils generally. I think my personal preference usually strays towards oil-based, but I love Prismacolor pencils. They are a wax-based, but they're so buttery soft. They're my favorite pencil, I think. Those, and my new favorites are the Brute Fooners. Okay, that's our first layering. Okay, and in this we're going to test blendability, so let's see how well we can get them to work together. So in our blending thirds, we're going to come back with the medium color and we're going to cover our 2/3 of our wonky wonky rectangle, and this is going to lay down another layer. And I'm doing it just as lightly as I did the first time. And I'm going to go over this a couple times, maybe in a different direction. So these Black Widow pencils, they're wax base, but they're a slightly harder lead than, say, the Prismacolors or the Brute Fooners. And so far they're blending nicely. Okay, so we went back to the medium. Now we're coming back to our darkest shade. Wow, can you guys hear that wind? It's, so I have my solar panel cords stretched out the windows and plugged into the power banks that I have them charging, which are like my Jackery's sitting right there next to me. So there's this tiny little crack in the window, and man, that wind just comes whistling through. Okay, now I'm gonna move up into our medium colors area a little bit, because we want to see how well these blend. Can I get a nice smooth blend? Okay, now I'm going back to the beginning. I'm going back to our lightest color, and I'm going to do the whole thing. And it's going to be another light layer. I'll be doing a blending and layering video with the Brute Fooners as well. I'm waiting for another set of pencils to come in that I'll be doing a swatching video on, and then maybe I'll do a video where I compare the blendability of several different sets of pencils. Oh, where's my little brush? I want my little crumb brush. Crumb brush, there you go. It was in his little container, right where he belongs. Okay. I've done light layers, and I think, let me see, can I go even further down with you? I've been doing really light layers, and there's still a lot of white showing through on this, and I'm just now starting to feel a tiny bit of skating. So we're gonna do it all over again and see if we can get more of the white filled in and see how they blend between the different color separations. So we did an all over again of the lightest color. Now we're going to come in and I'm going to do an all over of the medium color. And I'm going to super lightly just go up into the little, because I want them to blend out. I don't want you to be able to see where one color ends and the next one starts. And if the pencils can achieve that smoothly, they're a good blending pencil. And I'm still doing really light pressure. Okay. And now we're going to come back with our darkest color again. And I'm super lightly going to go up into our middle color area. And then a little deeper. I'm going to start doing some little circles. Wow, that wind is just really moving the rig around. So I feel a little bit of skating, and we still have a lot of white here. But I'm not applying a whole lot of pressure. I want these pencils to work for me, not against me. I want them to do what they're supposed to do. So we're coming in with the medium color again. And I'm definitely starting to feel the wax build up a little bit. I have put down a fair amount of layers. And brush it away. And I'm going to go back to our lightest again. And we're just going to do another full layer. I'm going to push a little harder now. Maybe a medium pressure. I tend to be really light with my pencils now. A lot due to the fact that my hands bother me. And if I'm coloring a large piece that could take hours and hours and hours, I want to be able to sit down and color for a couple of hours at a time without my hands just killing me. So I have developed a very light touch. Yeah. So I'm getting to the point now where I feel like I can't get any more down because a lot of the wax of the pencil is down now. I'm also going to do, I want to see how these behave with Gamsol, which is a blending solvent. It's odorless mineral spirits, and it dissolves the wax that you've laid down on the paper so that you can then layer more on top. But that'll be a separate video. So what do you guys think? That's not too bad. The transitions between the areas are fairly nice. So blendability, not too bad. Should I hold this up for you a little bit? Oh, it was all staticky to my table. There you go. So not too bad. You can still see the transition line, but that's not bad. Okay, let's do our next set of colors. Want to do the blues? Let's do the blues. And I'm gonna pick you up a little bit. Oh, sorry. Alright, let's do the blues. Move my pinks out of the way. Whoa! Don't roll away! Okay, so we're gonna have... Sorry, I'm gonna move you up here for just 1 second. We're gonna have 124, 056, and our dark color is going to be 064, and I will draw another wonky box. Right? Okay. There we go. That's for our blues. Okay. Again, we're going to start with the lightest color and lay down a really light layer. You know, I probably should have looked at the swatch chart I did of these to look at the colors and not just the tip color. So I don't know how pretty some of these blends are going to be, but you know. Alright, so a really light layer of the lightest color. Then we're going to go to our medium color. Ocean. Alright. And we're going to start, we're going to do 2/3 of our wonky box. And we're going to do a light layer. Learning to do light layers is beneficial for your paper too. If you can train yourself to a light hand, the tooth of your paper will last longer. The harder you push and the more you burnish using your pencils, the more damage you're doing to the tooth of the paper. So if you can develop a light hand, you'll get more out of your pencils and out of your paper. And I always recommend using a good paper. Having a good tooth on the paper when you're using colored pencils is kind of really important. I'm going to bring you down a little closer. And then we're just gonna lightly do the bottom third. And I'm going to super lightly go up into the medium color just a little bit, because remember, we're trying to blend and see how they can blend out, and I don't necessarily want to see the dividing line between the colors. Okay, so that was our darkest. Now we're going to go back to our medium color, the ocean. And we're gonna lay in another layer here. And this is the rule of blending thirds, remember? You start with your lightest color and cover your whole area. And then you move to your medium color and do the bottom 2/3. And then you move to your darkest color and do your bottom third. And this is a great rule to follow, particularly when you're coloring things like flowers, leaves. And I'm super light, just gonna go up in here a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to go to the light and I'm going to do a whole thing. And I change my direction. So right now I'm just going to do small circles because that will get different areas of the tooth of the paper, as opposed to just doing straight back and forth or straight back and forth this way. I'm going to do some little circles. And I can already start to feel a good bit of the wax down on the paper. We haven't started skating too much yet, but I know it's coming. You tend to be able to get more layers, I feel, out of artist grade pencils as opposed to budget friendly, but that's kind of to be expected, right? You're paying more for an artist grade pencil than a budget pencil, so I would hope they perform well. Alright, I'm going to come in with the medium again, and I'm going to start giving a little more pressure. But this is blending fairly nicely. The divide between color that you can see the most is between our medium and our light, but I'm going to work to see if I can't smooth that out a little bit. So I'm going to come in here and I'm ever so lightly gonna just poke up into the lightest color a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back down, and I'm just doing light little circles so I can start filling in. Boy, I'm gonna have to go out and check my panels because we are getting quite a bit of wind here today. And now I'm gonna go back to our darkest color again. What's this one? Storm Blue. And I'm going to apply a little more pressure this time. I really want to see how this goes in. And I'm going to lightly go up into our medium color. Because again, I want to be able to blend these. I want to see how well I can get them to sort of, I don't know, melt into each other. I'm definitely getting skating, and I can see the areas where I'm not getting into sort of the valleys of the tooth of the paper. And I know it's probably going to be, I don't know if you'd be able to see this. Let me, if I can take you way, way in. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. Let me do that. But can I get you, can I go in like this? Ooh, yeah. Okay. Ooh, we're way, way in. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me get something to point with. All right, this is zoomed way in, so I hope it's not too fuzzy when you're looking at it. You can see the tooth of the paper here. As I'm laying in my layers, right, the different pigments get laid down. Hold on one second. Let me do a little brush. Just a little brushing. We got some crumbs. You guys know about crumbs now. Okay. From the angle I'm looking at it, I can see quite a bit of shine, which means there's a lot of wax and fillers laid down already. So it's already starting to burnish on the top, on the peaks of the paper. But I want you to see, you see here, that little place is lighter than, say, here. This was our medium color, right? This should be a smooth finish between the medium color and our darkest color. So this speaks to the blendability of the pencil. I would say it's fairly average, or maybe on the lower end of average for a budget pencil. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So we have more layers on down here right now than we do here in the medium color and up in the lighter color. But, oh, this is a good example. Can you see how much of the white is still left? All right, this gives you a good representation of what the tooth of the paper looks like. You can see all that white is sort of a valley, and the places that have taken color is a peak. So can I move over to, will it focus? Oh yeah, look, you can actually see the tooth of the paper. I wonder if I move at an angle, is it gonna? I don't know that it will, but so you can see I have this way, way zoomed in, but that's kind of cool. You can see the tooth of the paper. So you can see how much these pencils aren't getting into the valleys on this paper. Now, that probably has to do with, this is a slightly harder lead pencil. So I'll have to push much harder to get down into these valleys. But I wanted you to see it at this point because we're questioning blendability. The color differences are definitely staying to themselves. So you can see this is medium color, and right here, this is our lightest color. And I've gone over the whole thing with the medium color, but they're not blending together very well. When you look at it, let me pull you back out a little bit. When you start moving away from it, it's not as noticeable, but to the naked eye, oh yeah, noticeable. Okay, so let me do a couple more layers, and I'm gonna give a good bit of pressure now. And I'll try and stay really, hold on one second. Let me just, because I have the paper sort of curled up, but let me, can Can I do it like this? And be in, let me move you down just a little and up. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold the paper down, I think. But let me try this so you can really get a good look. Now I'm gonna apply a medium pressure and I'm gonna do a circular motion to really fill in. Now applying this medium pressure, medium hard pressure to fill in the valleys of the paper. This is going to burnish this paper a lot, meaning it's going to damage the tooth of the paper. It's going to mush it down. But that's how to get color in here. So I'm going to go quite a bit heavier. Now I'm going to lighten up over the other colors because I don't necessarily want the lightest color to be sticking out terribly. See, the dark end, let me move this just a little this way. Our dark end here is, I'm just skating off now. It's full and all the pigment is not, you can still see bits of white. Let me brush the crumbs. The harder you push, you will often get more crumbs. Okay. I'm definitely going to give a little more oomph to this now. And I'm going to stay in the medium colors area now. I don't want to push down into... I'm going to lightly come up a little bit. And I'm going to lightly go down into the dark. And I'm going to switch direction and just go back and forth instead of doing all circles. And I'm going to brush the crumbs off a bit. Ooh, there's something in there. Okay. You can clearly see they don't blend together. They do layer, but the colors aren't necessarily blending together very well. Again, it's not bad for a budget pencil. For me anyway, this was sort of to be expected. This is half the way I expected them to behave. I'm going to do a really hard pressure now with the darkest color. And then soften up a little bit. Yeah. We're skating a lot now, and I think this area of paper has taken all that it will take. Can you see it? And let me go down in. Way. Ooh. Okay. All right. Well, so you guys decide whether you can still see a lot of separation of color. All here was just the light color, and it looks like even between there seems to be a little color variance. And there's still an awful lot of white popping through, even where let me turn you to the dark a little bit. Let's go to the dark side. Even where I gave some really good pressure, there's still a lot of white showing through. Now, that speaks to the good quality of the paper and the maybe not great, certainly not professional quality of these particular pencils. Well, so I'm already a little over half an hour here. Ooh, look, you can totally see the shine. Ooh, I got squirreled. Ooh, there it is. Look. Can you see that wax shine on it? That is burnishing. Oh, I wish it would focus. Focus, focus. Ooh. That is burnishing. And that shows you how full the paper is. So you wouldn't really be able to get any more color down. Look at that. Ooh, what a good example. So what do you think, guys? That's how well they blend together. This is their blended ability. Not great. Pretty average for a budget pencil, I think. Yeah, so you can see the shine on the pink too. Should I bother doing the green for you? I don't think so. I think this answers the question. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I love you all, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.